Hey guys, this is Mr. Grice for Algebra 2 Unit 6.3 review. You guys ready? I am too. So simplify each expression. Answers must contain positive exponents only, and to write the answers on the line. Okay, so let's go ahead and zoom in and look at number 1. So number 1, all we have is multiplication. And when we have multiplication, we add the exponents of like bases. So I have x and then 7 plus 6, we get 13. So our final answer is x to the 13th power. All right, number 2, we're following the same rule just with more information. The first thing that I want to do is multiply my coefficients. So I have 5 over 6, and I'm going to multiply that by 18. And we get 15. So we have 15. And now alphabetical order, I'm going to look at my x's first. I have 12 plus 5. 12 plus 5 is 17. And next are the y's. So I have, let's see, the first one there is a 1. So 1 plus 10 gives me y to the, good, 11th power. And they're already positive, so there's nothing else I can really do with this guy. Okay, don't be scared because there are fractions there. I multiply the coefficients. 2 times negative 6 is negative 12. And then I need to do something with those exponents. Okay, I need to add them. So 5 plus 12 plus 3 plus over 12. 5 plus 3 is 8. And then I want to reduce. Okay, reducing that fraction, you would divide it by 4. Or if you didn't know that, you could do 8 divided by 12. Go math, enter, enter to get 2/3. Okay, so we have 2/3. Okay, it's not too bad for a start. All right, number 4. Number 4 is when we started to divide. Okay, and when we divide, we subtract. We say, who is bigger? Is the top bigger or the bottom bigger? Okay, and Mr. Grice, you should be doing this in alphabetical order. Sorry. Okay, so the m's, the bottom wins, so I would do 7 over 2 minus 5 over 2 to get 2 over 2, which is the same thing as 1. Good, so on the bottom I have 1m. On the top, the n's win. So I have 9 over 7 minus 6 over 7, which gives me 3 over 7. And there's nothing I can do with the 3 over 7, so we're just gonna write it as it is. And then that is our final answer. That's all we can do. Okay. All right. Next one. The first thing that I notice is that I have a negative exponent. Okay. So that's actually going to be the first thing that I do. I'm going to keep the x squared up here. If my exponent's negative, I drop it like it's hot. But if it's already on the bottom, I bring it to the top. Okay. So that's going to be the first thing that I move. And then the y stays there, the z stays there. I have y to the 4th, and then I'm just going to write z to the 1st power. Okay? And then I look at each one at a time. So looking at my x's, I add them. So that'll be x to the 9th power. Okay? So now we have our y's, and the top wins. 8 minus 4 is 4. Okay, and then looking at our z's, once again, the top wins, and the top wins by 2. So I have z to the second. So there's nothing on the denominator. Everything stayed up top. So all I gotta do is put a box around it. Number 6. So number 6 is the power of a power where we have to distribute. Okay, everything inside, I gotta make sure that it has a exponent. My bases stay the same, and then I multiply. 2 times 1 is 2. 6 times 2 is 12. Okay, and then I need to figure out what is 5 squared. If you don't know that, just plug it in, guys. It's 5 times 5, not 5 times 2. 5 times 5. So that gives us 25 m to the 12th. Final answer. Okay. Number 7. The first thing that I notice is that they are the same. If my exponent is negative, I drop it like it's hot. If it's already on the bottom, I bring it to the top. So on the top, I have x 7/5, and then I'm going to have x to the 13 over 5, 13/5. So then I would add those. So 7 over 13 plus, sorry, 7 over 13, 7 over 5 plus 13 over 5 equals 20 over 5. And then I would reduce that to 4. Okay? So my final answer is x to the 4th. Number 8. Okay, I see some negative exponents, but the first thing that I want to do is combine everything. All right, so 2 times negative 10 is negative 20. I'm going to look at my zeros, my x's, which 8 minus 8 gives me 0. And then looking at my y's, y to the 4th and y to the negative 7th gives me y to the negative 3rd. Okay? So the negative 20 stays, x to the 0, and then if my exponent's negative, I drop it like it's hot. So our final answer is negative 20 y cubed. All right, number 9. So the first thing that I want to do is check, can I change anything inside? Okay, can I simplify anything? And I can't. So I'm going to take this negative 3, remember that it is a negative, okay, and I distribute it to everything. And if it doesn't have an exponent, I'm going to give it a 1. So my bases stay the same. And then my new exponents are negative 3, and then 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. Now, if my exponents are negative, I drop them like it's hot. So I have 2 cubed, x cubed. If it's already on the bottom, I bring it to the top. And the only other thing that I need to figure out is what is 2 cubed? 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. So we have y to the 6th all divided by 8x cubed. All right, that's about the halfway point. So remember with that last one where I said, did I clean it up first? This is what I'm talking about, okay? I want to make it easier to read, okay? So negative 16 divided by 8 is what? Sorry, hold on. Is 2, okay? And it's a negative 2. Now my m's, who wins? Does the top win or does the bottom win? They're the same thing, so they cancel out. The ends, who wins? The top or the bottom? Yeah, the top, and the top wins by 4. So this is what we have now, and it's squared. It's a lot easier than what we started with, okay? So we need to distribute the 2 to everything. So remember that that negative 2 is in parentheses. 4 times 2 is 8. And then negative 2 squared is a positive 4. So we get 4 n to the 8th. Okay, I want to simplify. 6 over 10 is the same thing as, good, 3 over 10. Not 3 over 10, 3 over 5. I divided it by 2. If you don't know, I got 6 over 10. Math, enter, enter, to get 3/5. Okay? Now, who wins with the ends, the top or the bottom? Yeah, the bottom. And we have 9 over 4 minus 7 over 4, which gives us 2 over 4. Oh my gosh, which is 1/2. Good. So we have r to the 1/2. So I need to take this 2 and distribute it to everything. So I have 3, 5, and r. My bases stay the same. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 2 is 2. And then 1/2. 1/2 times 2 is actually 1. Okay? So then my last step would just be to square everything. 3 times 3. 3 squared is 9. 5 squared is 25. And then I'm left with the r. All right, number 12. Clean up. Make it look simpler. So I'm looking at the coefficients. Negative 1/6 times 18. Yeah, negative 3. Alphabetical order, so I'm looking at the x's next. 1/2 minus 3 over 2 is negative 2 over 2, which is negative 1. So I have x to the negative first. And then my y's, I have 8 plus 1. 8 plus 1 is 9. Okay? And I'm not done because I have a negative exponent. And if my exponent's negative, I have to drop it like it's hot. So that's negative 3 y to the 9th. And then that x goes to the bottom. Okay? Always clean up first, and if there's nothing to clean up, that's when I can distribute. My bases stay the same. Okay? So 1 times negative 2 is negative 2. 5 times negative 2, negative 10. Negative 8 times negative 2 is a positive 16. If my exponents are negative, I drop it like it's hot. So I have b to the 16 over 3 squared, a tenth, and actually I moved those, so those should be in red. Not b, Mr. Grice, a to the 10th. And then the only thing that can change is my 3 squared, because 3 squared is 3 times 3, which is 9. So we have b16, 9, a to the 10th. Okay, don't freak out because there's a fraction up there. We can do it. The first thing I always check, can I simplify this? 27 divided by negative 8. Math, enter, enter. And no. Okay, so I know that that stays the same. Negative 27 over negative 8. Okay, now my exponent's negative, so let's do it in the right color. I'm going to bring it to the top, and when I bring it to the top, I can add those to get y to the 10th. Okay, and we still have that 1/3 out there. So I have to distribute the 1/3. Sorry, that shouldn't be a 10. Hopefully you guys are yelling at me. It should be 12, Mr. Grice. Okay, so my next step would be to distribute the 1/3 to everything. So 21 times 1/3, 12 times 1/3. Yes, we can actually do that and the number changes. And then 1 times 1/3. Okay, and remember, we always want to check, can I figure out what 27 to the 1/3 is? And it's 3. Okay, so on the top we have 3y to the 4th, and on the bottom I have negative 8 raised to the 1/3, and I can figure that out as well, and it's negative 2. Okay, so our final answer is 3y to the 4th, all divided by negative 2. All right, number 15. Couple more, guys, we're almost there. So always check with your coefficients. Can I reduce those? And you can. That turns out to be negative 4 over 3, because I'm dividing it by 4. Okay. Or hold on. What am I dividing? Mr. Grice is having brain farts right now. And so when that happens, we're just going to get the calculator out because I'm trying to do too many things in my head. I'm tired. So it's negative 3 over 2. Okay. So negative 3 over 2. Now I'm looking at the m's, and the m's actually cancel each other out, so I don't have to worry about them anymore. N to the 0 is 1, and so the n to the 14 stays on the bottom. So my final answer is negative 3, all divided by 2n to the 14th. All right, number 16. If my exponent 0, my base turns into, done. Man, I love those problems. Okay, so clean up. What can we do there? Yeah, the 27 actually turns into, or 27 over 3 actually turns into 9. Okay. Now my exponent's negative. I'm going to drop it like it's hot. If it's already on the bottom, I'm going to bring it to the top. I can figure out who wins with my W's. The top wins, and the top wins by 4. And then looking at my Y's, the bottom wins. Okay, bottom wins 7 over 2 minus 1 over 2, 1/2, which is 3. So my y cubed is down there. And then I still have my exponent. Okay. Now, I'm going to clean up just a little bit more because the x squared and the x to the 5th, I can figure that out. So I have 9. Who wins with the x's, the top or the bottom? Yeah, the bottom, and the bottom wins by 3. And then I'm going to multiply, okay? Now, 9 squared. 9 squared is 81. W, x, and y. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 3 is 6. And 2 times 3 is 6. So we get 81, w to the 8th power, x to the 6th, y to the 6th as our final answer. Okay? And the last one. Remember, clean it up first. Okay? So, as I start to clean it up, I know this negative 1/2 stays out there. I'm looking at my m's. The bottom wins, and the bottom wins by 8. My n's, the top wins, and the top wins by 4. My p's, the top wins, 9 over 4 minus 1 over 4, 8 over 4, which is 2. So my top wins by 2. Okay? So my next step now is to distribute. So my bases stay the same, and I do negative 1/2 times 4, which is negative 2. Negative 1/2 times 2, which is negative 1. 8 times negative 1/2, which is negative 4. If my exponents are negative, I drop it like it's hot. So n squared p. And if they're already on the bottom, I bring it to the top. Remember, no negative exponents in your final answer. Okay? And that's it. So I know we went through a lot. We did it kind of quick. If you have any questions, please come see Miss Carranza or myself. We would love to help you out. Okay? Otherwise, the next thing you guys got is a quiz, so good luck. Okay? This is Mr. Grice signing off for Algebra 2, Unit 6.3 review. Thanks for watching.